Hi guys, good morning. My name is Arun Jayal. I am a mutual fund distributor based in Rishikesh. I again welcome you to my YouTube channel. I thank you for liking and watching my videos, and I hope you are liking them. And if you have any queries or questions, you can write to me. I'll try to answer them, and we can connect. And as we are talking today is 10th of March 2026. It's morning 11:50 a.m. and the conflict is still going on in the Middle East. So there is a huge uh, oil prices went oil prices show a huge upside yesterday. They were up by 26% initially, then they went down, and today it's trading somewhere around $80 a barrel. So uh, there is an ongoing conflict in Middle East. So many people are thinking that it makes sense to withdraw money and sit on cash and then we can enter later. I'll explain why it doesn't make any sense to do that. I'll try to explain that why you should stay invested during such turbulent time, and then there is a we see we have a conflict going on, we see that market will fall. It may or may not fall, but that is the general sentiment. Then why it makes sense to stay invested? You have to understand that market reacts first, not last. What I mean by that is that uh, the things are discounted before you may know about the news. If there is a ceasefire, you may not be able to know that, but market will react to it 2 or 3 days before. So you will miss a rally in that case. Second is that uh, market moves in future expectation. What I mean by that is that market price is what investors speculate, and there are lots of big players in the market. They have commercial interest, they have deeper knowledge than us, and they act before the retail public know about it. So if you think that you can time the market, it's practically impossible. And if you are thinking that you can if you're thinking that you can exit right now and enter later, there is a big huge problem with this kind of thinking. The problem is that uh, you would never know when is the right time to exit and when is a right time to enter. As I said, there are people who have deep pockets, who have commercial interest, who have large teams of researchers. And they know very well in advance that what's going to happen and how they're going to react. So if you will try to uh, time the market, then you will fail. That is why lots and lots of traders fail in the market. So in this case, what you can do is that you can go for SIPs. If you have SIPs going on, you should continue them. At any point, just continue them. And SIP investors benefit most from this kind of volatility, as SIP allows you to accumulate NAVs at all prices. So if you are doing SIP, continue with that. If you have money, stay invested. Don't try to think about exiting now and you can enter later when there is a ceasefire, because as I told you that you may not be able to know that, but market will react a lot before that. So you will and a you will lose a huge upside. Also, the recovery comes much faster. It is a misconception that falls happen at a very high speed, but recovery also comes at a much faster pace. The market is consolidating from the last 2 and 2.5 years in this 25-26 thousand range. If if these things get stopped and if there are good earnings, then market will shoot up like anything. And you also have to understand that history always rewards investors. History rewards people who have patience, who stick to their asset allocation, who didn't try to time the market. So despite all these war cries and news and attacks, everything going on, if you stick to your asset allocation, as I always say, stick to your guns, you will do wonders for yourself. And in long term, these things uh, will fade away. So the idea is that you should stay invested in all in such situation. When you see when we as a general public anticipate that the conflict will go wrong, will go for a longer time and markets will fall, you never know what's going to happen. So don't try to time the market, and you have to understand market moves first, and market moves on future expectations. Timing and re-entry becomes impossible for a retail investor, and SIP investors always benefit. And history has shown us that market rewards patience. So always have patience, stay invested for a longer time. You will do wonders for yourself. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.